Good morning, everyone. This is Justin Roberti. I am a producer and writer with Benzinga. Thank you so much for coming out to speak with us today. It's so good to have you. We're going to be talking about DeFi dynamics post Bitcoin halving, the trends and transformations. So it's going to be an interesting little show, some kind of cutting edge stuff. We're going to talk a little bit about DeFi on the Bitcoin network. We're going to talk a little bit about how the halving impacts DeFi overall and kind of what their immediate future is going to look like. So let's get into it. I think it's going to be a great show. We've got a number of people coming. If you are a speaker and you're in the audience and not being given a speaking invitation, go ahead and raise your hand or DM me or whatever. But in the meantime, let's go ahead over to one of our first guests. We've got Ashton with us. Ashton, why don't you come on and introduce yourself quickly? Tell us a little bit about what you do.
Sounds good, Justin. Thanks for having me. My name's Ashton. Thanks. I've been in crypto since 2015. I started out with Bitcoin ATMs. I built the largest Bitcoin ATM network from 2015 to 2018, and then I was introduced to the ICO era through Ethereum and all the decentralized applications. Worked with quite a few projects from time to time. And then around 2020, I created my own marketing and consulting firm where I create digital identities for people. I had a big focus in the Web3 gaming space, trying to build out use cases. And now I am ultimately just kind of gliding through the industry, sharing some of my alpha that I've learned over the last, almost decade. And yeah, just participating in a lot of conversations, not joining so many communities, not trying to get, too clouded in the world of this crazy information we see on Twitter. Yeah, man.
Right. All right. Well, excellent. Tell us about you said you helped build the largest Bitcoin network. Can you summarize that real quickly?
Yeah. So in North America, there's a company, EasyBit ATM. We were working with the lead manufacturer of Bitcoin ATMs called Genesis, ran by this guy named Evan Rose. Great guy. And so what I was doing, I was handling logistics and operations for international deals. We were placing ATMs in places like Venezuela and Vietnam. Those were the two primary countries outside of the U.S. that were able to operate ATMs without a money service or money transmitter license. And then in North America, particularly in Canada, we were headquartered in Colorado. We placed a few ATMs in Canada and had probably a network of around 300 to 350 at the time when I left in 2018.
Very cool.
To spread out throughout the U.S.
Bitcoin ATMs are an interesting use case. That's kind of a whole other show, but that's an interesting use case toward mainstreaming. It's certainly creates a public appearance of mainstreaming, and that in itself has some value. But let me go ahead on to we've got Kadan with us as well. He's the CTO of Komodo Platform. Kadan, why don't you come on and say hello?
Hey, Justin. Hello. Yeah, thanks for having me. So yeah, my name's Karan. I'm a CTO and co-founder of the Komodo Platform. I've been in the industry for a bit more than a decade. My core focus has always been like cybersecurity. I'm pretty much like the IT nerd. And within like Komodo, we focus on a blockchain interoperability stack. So our vision and goal, or actually by now it's like reality, we've built like a multi-protocol bridge that literally connects every blockchain protocol out there with each other. For now, we focus like on a cross-chain and cross-protocol atomic swap engine. We provide coverage for most like blockchain protocols, first, second, and third generation protocols out there. And ever since, been literally like keeping the focus on this like technology stack. We figured, well, there's so many like different like protocols and blockchains, and everyone's basically building like something new, non-standardized, incompatible with each other. And it pretty much felt like borders, and we believe it's something like bad, right? Like, and it doesn't like further the industry. So yeah, that's kind of what we do and my background. Thanks.
Okay, cool. Great to have you on the show. Let's go over to Kim Protocol. Kim Protocol, why don't you come on and say hello?
Yeah, thanks, Justin. My name's Tay. I'm from Kim Exchange. We're the native DEX on Mode Network. Yeah, just to give you a little bit of background about me, been in the industry for a while, primarily in like token management and operations. Have managed several different projects that you can find on, CMC Top 100. Currently head of ecosystem for Kim Exchange now.
All right, excellent. Well, it's great to have you on the show. Let's go ahead over to Vasily, PhD and researcher. Why don't you come on, Vasily, and tell us a little bit about what you do?
Yeah, thank you, Justin, for having me. So yeah, I'm Vasily. I'm head of research in PowerPool. So PowerPool is a protocol for automating on-chain transactions based on on-chain and off-chain triggers. So simply you can automate almost any kind of algorithms on-chain using PowerPool. So if you need a limit order, DCA, liquidation protection, payment streaming, and Uniswap position management, or any other of like endless set of use cases in DeFi, you definitely can use PowerPool. So yeah, our vision is that in like a couple of years, the significant share of block space in Ethereum and rollups will be consumed by automated transactions because users don't want to do a lot of manual actions. It improves UI a lot, and also protocols and DeFi in general becomes more and more complex, and it requires some automated solutions for users. For example, I doubt that every user manages Uniswap positions himself or making some limit orders himself. So it means that in the future a lot of DeFi will be automated, and we try to deliver this vision with PowerPool. So, and my background is chemistry, so I'm a PhD in chemistry and computations, and I built some DeFi products together with PowerPool. Also, I engaged in in token engineering design and simulations and stuff. And I'm in crypto for quite a long time. I joined in 2013 with some mining and trading activities, and in 2017 I decided to pivot all my career to crypto entirely. So it was quite a long journey for me.
It's funny. It's an interesting space that way. I've met people who are clinical psychologists or mechanical engineers, or recording artists and engineers, for example, who throw everything into blockchain. Has your background in chemistry informed your path through blockchain, through working in Web3?
Yep. I think it made a significant influence, on decision making, what to do. So because the chemistry is mainly the science about the classifications, because it's like very broad science with a lot of stuff that you never can, remember entirely, but you can classify stuff, and based on these classifications, you can decompose compounds, chemical reactions and stuff. So, and I think it helps me a lot in crypto, in token design stuff, in classifying different apps, and value capturing stuff, and etc. Yeah, I think that chemistry influenced a lot, and I also want to say vice versa. That I know like several chemists, in DeFi, for example, the head of research in Bancor is also chemist. So yeah, I'm not alone.
That's pretty cool. I can see how the scientific method in itself, the tendency to classify in order to understand these are all kind of useful principles toward expanding this brand new thing, folks. I mean that's the thing. Like everything in blockchain, we call it a wild west. I call it a wild west a lot because everything is so new. It's still being invented. So applying any structure for logic around it is actually helpful in a lot of ways. I've seen it happen over and over again. So that's very cool from a chemistry perspective. Let's go ahead and talk to InvestFi. Come on and tell us a little bit about what you do. InvestFi, you with us?
Hey guys.
Hey
guys. Thanks for having us. And I'm the CEO. I go by Crypto Papa. And we represent InvestFi. Basically, what we are doing is we would like to say it's the first zero knowledge Bitcoin layer 2. We are trying to build we are already into the R&D, and we got a really good start.
Right.
So we are building zero ZK Bitcoin layer 2, which will improve the privacy and the speed of transactions, and the cost will reduce for the gas fees and everything on Bitcoin ecosystem, which is So that's what we are doing basically.
Okay, excellent. Well, good to have you on the show. Let's go over to, I'm going to say, hopefully I'm saying this correctly, Maze Mimon. Is that correct? Maze, you with us?
Yes, hey guys, it's Maz, but yeah, close enough.
Maz. Yeah, I was guessing. Sorry, go ahead. Tell us about yourself.
Yeah, thanks for having me on this. First, I'll give a little bit of background about me. I come from a traditional banking background of 15 plus years. Been in blockchain, Web3 space since 2016, 17-ish. And so I've seen both sides of the world, centralized banking system. I've helped create some of the big ones for top 10 banks, including HSBC, Bank of America, Citi. So moving from those payment infrastructure into decentralized or DeFi space, or you want to call it hybrid sometime, have been quite an interesting journey. Last year started a company called Pi Finance to bring the Web2 adoption into Web3, where I think is where do we find the biggest challenge right now for DeFi spaces? How do we bring those Web2 people, right? Hence, we founded Pi Finance, where you can have all your liquid assets, your stocks, your crypto in a traditional way, but moving into the Web3 environment, right? So it's a liquid asset platform that does aggregation of all your wallets, all your brokerages in one. So you could have 10, 20, 100 plus wallets. You could have multiple stock brokerages that you use. We bring all those in one as an aggregation. And then we do your off-ramping into our own debit cards and with our banking partners. So we do aggregation and the liquidation of your assets.
Okay, cool. It's cool approaching things from a pay tech point of view, too. You know, it's funny. It's not the sexiest use case, folks, but when we talk about mainstreaming in crypto itself, Paytech is kind of where it's at. I mean, you know, the first, well, I don't want to prognosticate too heavily, but I have a feeling that one of the first really mainstream use cases is going to be the moment that someone comes on with a pay rail, you know, between fiat and crypto that allows, you know, that's cheaper to use than PayPal and better to use than PayPal. Like, it seems like if there's any mainstream use case that's going to do it, it probably would be that.
You absolutely nailed it. So we are and will be cheaper than PayPal. This would be 1%. And that's exactly what our infrastructure does. We did build the infrastructure.
PayPal is too expensive, so.
Yes, absolutely. And yeah, I would love everybody to look into what we have built so far. We would be out in the market in 3 to 6 months. And our private round also will start actually in a day or two, in next 48 hours. But it's only going to be for the people who have the private code and they know someone. So everybody feel free to DM me or something and I'll see what we can do to get people to our private seed round.
Yeah, feel free, you know, Maz and everybody else on the panel. I like for people to be able to, you know, people who are listening to be able to quickly like look and see what you're up to. If they're into it, they can check it out. So feel free to drop a pinned post underneath the main post for this show, so that, you know, if people want to peruse your projects after the show, you can always do that. Of course, everyone listening at home, you can also or at work or wherever, you can also just go ahead and follow the panelists. That's something that I kind of do for every show. It keeps my Twitter timeline full of Web3 stuff and blockchain stuff, even when I'm just doom scrolling. So, you know, it's nice to do. You can always follow me too. It's always, that's always a good feeling. Let's go to Pengy OS. Pengy OS, come on and tell us about yourself. You are so you're an operating a Solana operating system and DApp hub with an adorable mascot.
Exactly. Yeah. Thanks for having us. So I'm not the actual speaker because we got the invite on short notice, but thanks anyway. So excuse my bad English, but yeah,
you're doing fine.
But yeah, you nailed it definitely. So we launched back on Pump.fun, currently sitting on the Solana blockchain.
All right, cool.
Sorry, yeah.
No, go ahead. How many dApps are you guys handling right now?
Solana dApps, I think about 5 or 6. So Soul Sniffer, we partnered up with them. Then we have SoulMill. I think partnership will be upcoming, I hope. Blockmate, we have a partnership with them. SoulChat, currently no partnership, but also working on it, of course. And I think also we have some discussions going on with Soulphone, but nothing final yet.
All right, excellent. Well, it's good to have you on. Thank you for coming. Let's go over to Ken. Ken Birdsberry. Hey, how you doing, Ken?
Hey, Justin, how are you guys? So,
Good.
let me introduce myself. So, my name is Ken. I'm a crazy Filipino entrepreneur that is going to different around the world. And I've been in space for 8 years as a marketing advisor and consultant. My company name is Connect Web3, which is we are the first Web3 outsourcing company in the Philippines. And we are raising funds, building awareness, and doing, from time, providing providing marketing services, logistics, those social media community management, and a lot more. So
Uh-huh.
shout out to 77 employees here in the Philippines. So even if it's midnight, they are still listening and of course helping and supporting us under Godbeat. So thank you so much, guys.
How active is the blockchain community in the Philippines? I have to say I get
Oh,
press releases all the time, and I don't hear a lot from Philippines projects.
Oh yeah, in the Philippines we don't have like a huge projects after the Axie Infinity, but the community here are really huge. In fact, we are I think we are number three when it comes in India, Vietnam, and then Philippines. So Philippines
Uh-huh.
is a sleeping giant, if I believe, because we our second language is English, and most of those influencers are trying to content in the Filipinos or in the Philippines because how our community supported them a lot. So I think when it comes in Web3, the Philippines is one of the sleeping giant right now.
Uh-huh. All right, perfect. So, guys, I'm going to get into the questions because there's so many people to introduce, and I'm going to do this by taking the first questions to people that haven't spoken yet, so everybody gets a chance to say hello. Just to set up what we're talking about here. We've all been looking to Bitcoin Aradine, I'm going to go over to you next. Just so you know, we have been all waiting for the halving, for the ETFs, and for Bitcoin, as it always does, to lift the whole crypto community out of its crypto winter. Now we've been through the halving. It's going to affect the way DeFi works right now because the greater scarcity of Bitcoin, which is often used to as collateral for exchanges and that sort of thing. And also, some of what's lifted us out of the doldrum right now has been ordinals and other things that have been happening on the Bitcoin network. So, taking this over to you, Ardeen, why don't you quickly introduce yourself and tell us what you think the future of DeFi actually on the Bitcoin network is going to look like, considering some of the success that they've had over the past few months.
Sure. Hey, Justin and the Godbit team, thanks for having us. My name is Sanjay Gupta, and I'm the Chief Strategy Officer of Auradine. We are a high technology company based in Silicon Valley, and we are focused upon providing the infrastructure for ensuring that the Bitcoin network works in the most effective and efficient way.
Okay.
So we manufacture our own semiconductor chips, which are really at the cutting edge of technology. We develop the full systems around these semiconductor chips and the full software and SaaS stack for this. So within that, we actually think that the future of Bitcoin and ensuring its ongoing success is critically dependent upon the involvement with the energy ecosystem. So
Right.
we all know that Bitcoin mining requires a considerable amount of energy, and with the halving, the amount of energy doubles in terms of the need to mine the same number of Bitcoins.
Right.
So one is that you need highly efficient machines to ensure that these transactions are validated appropriately. And then secondly, there needs to be an ability to rapidly increase or decrease the amount of energy consumed depending upon the needs of the energy ecosystem. So it's something that we have a processor capability called Energy Tune, where you can rapidly ramp it up or down for demand response or price response. Now, in terms of your question around the Bitcoin network, we're obviously very long on Bitcoin. In terms of the characteristics it offers from a decentralized nature point of view, the fact that it's been around for many years and the whole proof of work provides the security that actually don't think a lot of other protocols provide, we think is critical. Personally, I've been in the industry for over 30 years. A lot of that has been in management consulting as a partner at a leading management consulting firm. I've also been in financial services for many years with a number of CFI institutions, banks, fintech companies, and the like. And I've also personally had the opportunity to live and work in 8 countries and 4 continents during this time. So just the nature of the Bitcoin protocol, what it offers in terms of cross-border money movement as an exchange of value, I think is important. I heard some of the other speakers talk about layer 2s on top, which provide different applications, including privacy applications. We think is an opportunity. Not just ordinary, but the recent runes. You think to these which is more of a now it's a fungible token where you can allow smart contracts on that is an interesting opportunity. And I think that a number of use cases are just about to start to allow layer 2s on the Bitcoin network. So, from our side, we're very excited about it. And we're looking forward to power the future of Bitcoin and any type of applications on top of it for a long period of time.
Sure. Bitcoin does have a great reputation in terms of security, but more importantly, it's more importantly, from a people buying into it kind of point of view, it's also just the most popular network. Now you've got, obviously, it is the global superstar. It is the only, if your grandmother has heard of OneCoin, she's heard of Bitcoin. At this point, just about everybody has. And boy, if you've been in the space for 8 or 10 years, that is kind of in itself is a big difference over how it used to be. Now we've got ordinals and BRC20 tokens. So Robert, what do you think? Since I haven't called you on yet, Robert de Groot, why don't you come on and introduce yourself very briefly and tell us what you think, where you think the Bitcoin network is going in terms of maybe seeing some DeFi applications out of it.
Thank you, Justin. Robert, I'm CFO at Gain AI. We provide so we provide managed pools to passively grow your crypto reserves for individuals or projects. We collateralize Ether, Bitcoin, or USDC and grow it with uncorrelated markets. So, for instance, Forex. That's what we do. And related to your question, where do we see the ecosystem going with Bitcoin? I just did a round trip. I visited ETH Bucharest, which is a Web3 conference. Then I went to ETH Dem, which was a privacy-focused hackathon. Then Token 2049, which, let's say, mostly finance-focused. And then I went to NFT Bucharest. And it's good to see, you see the different, let's say, angles on the space and where they meet. So what I like about the developments right now on the Bitcoin network is that the fact that there's we're adding efficiency related to it. We're adding functionality. We're adding finally privacy opportunity, not pseudonymity, but actual opportunities to not explicitly open up data and transactions if needed, which makes it actually useful for let's say TradFi environments and other at least the level of expectations you would have there. And that, to me, combined with the usability that we're entering. I mean, I can see combination with the rise of this network with combination, for instance, with Telegram, as a Tron ecosystem is booming currently there because they already got 900 million users. That's where I see it heading, in the sense that, okay, we got the usability, we got the security, we got of the net, we got the efficiency, and that should give us a big new wave to ride, basically along with the results, or the after effects of the halving this time, combined with the input or effects of the financial cycle, to speak with Dalio's predictions. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm actually quite optimistic. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's good. Seems like there is a lot of there is a lot of potentiality there. Let's go ahead and InvestFi. You're my last person I haven't done any sort of intro with. But we want to get deeper into the questions. So give us like 30 seconds, and then let us know, where do you think Bitcoin DeFi is going? Is it looking like a possibility for this year? We've shown that it can support tokens, that can support ordinals, and there's popularity for both, equated with the popularity in Bitcoin. Now we've increased the scarcity. Oh, you already did an intro. All right, so I'll just take this question over to you. Where do you see this going?
Yeah, I think definitely Bitcoin network is going towards DeFi. We have to, as a Bitcoin enthusiast and believers. So compared to Ethereum EVM ecosystem, Bitcoin is still lagging behind. So we need to do something about it. Like, that's why we are trying to create or bring this new layer to with ZK. I mean, it could be different, but it will start as a ZK architecture. You know what I mean? So then it will enable other people to build on top of that. And so this is, let me tell you why we call it invest fee. Because we believe that the DeFi more, because the DeFi is actually makes up a lot on the market. Like, a lot of people are relying on those transactions and apps in across the cryptos, right? And so we are trying to build a network where DeFi protocols are supported on Bitcoin, and mostly, I mean, we are starting off with investment protocols, and our network will our chain will support them natively, so other people can build on top of that. And we are dreaming about something similar, like in Ethereum ecosystem, people can build on top of that and create a lot of DeFi applications, dApps. So that's our goal. So right now it's not, it's possible, but it's not very efficient. With the current ecosystem, I mean, the available chains or layer 2 side chains, whatever it is, and those are not really efficient. So not there yet. So that's why we want to solve this problem. It's an ambitious project, to be honest, and we will be facing a lot of challenges, I'm sure. But you have to start somewhere. So that's our motto, at least. So we started here, and I mean, so far the research doing well. We are hoping that we could put out something by 2025 Q1. I mean, at least alpha version of the testnet. And we already raised about 450 or $350,000 on different launch pads. Another launch pad is coming up in 11th of this month, and then we'll be listing on 13th of May our token. I mean, that's how we start off with, and then we will use that money to build the chain. So we will start off with like an investment platform, really. So it will work in multi-chain first, and then slowly we will move into our own chain, which we call Invifi chain, and that's just a code name. We can change it later, but and then we will move into that completely by next year Q2, maybe, hopefully. If we meet our funding
if you
deadlines.
could put a pin post on it, I want to move past the intros for right now, if we can, just because we've had a lot of that so far, and it ends up sounding like a lot of pitching. So go ahead and put a pin post up so people can check into it a little bit more. Let's get a show of hands, guys. Anybody on the panel who has a vision for what is going to happen on the Bitcoin network next in terms of DeFi. We've had the tokens, we've had ordinals. Who sees this as a big year 2024 for DeFi on Bitcoin? Do I have any takers here from the entire panel? Nope, nobody's going to raise their hand. All right, good. I'm going over you, Maz, because you went first. Talk to me, man. What do you expect to see happen?
So I think we
Ma-
recently all saw ETFs, right? I think the next big thing is going to be institutional marketplaces and the dApps on the Bitcoin. I believe that's where the most biggest adoption will come, especially when the big institution come into play. It's just not about having the Bitcoin and the investments. Obviously, that is, and it's just not going to be investment thesis for people that, yes, you do the Bitcoin, you get 3, 5, 7, 10x. It's not going to be those kind of returns, right? As we know, the bigger institution comes in, the returns for the retail investors goes down.
Sure.
The bigger upside for the retailers would be on building on those network. So, I mean, I did hear in this call today, people are building like layer 2s on that, right? That's where I see more adoption coming into the play and the bigger upside on the DeFi space.
All right, excellent. Let's go over to you, Vasily. What do you think?
Yeah, I just want to share some maybe not evident opinion on Bitcoin. So I was researching a lot of Bitcoin stuff lately, and so what I think that so everybody talks about Bitcoin layers 2 so far, right? There are a lot of them now, ZK based or just rollups. But what about the native Bitcoin, DeFi? Because if you will see the future, every 4 years the Bitcoin network incentivization proceeds are halving, right? So miners receive less and less Bitcoins every 4 years, so they need to find a new source of income. And if all the transactions will be outsourced from Bitcoin to rollups, it means that the native Bitcoin network probably wouldn't reach, so many transactions and so many, transaction fees to miners that will need them obviously to support the network, because if the block reward will go almost to zero, they will have no incentives. So, and what I found out the PSBT. I think people who are native, like building on Bitcoin, they heard something about that. So it's a off-chain action scripts that can help, to create some kind of primitives, and these scripts are signed by several parties, and after that it's proceeded on chain. So, and now the Magic Eden, the Orders Exchange, Arc Network, and some other projects are building on top of these PSBT scripts. So it's like a custom file where different parties can fully commit transactions without on-chain processing, and after that execute it with all these balances changes. So of course the technology is not easy to discuss it on these IMA entirely, I suppose. But what I want to say, I think that possibly there's significant there will be significant protocols on native Bitcoin, not rollups, that will bring more transaction volumes, more fees coming to miners on Bitcoin, and it will be really healthy for the ecosystem. This is what I'm thinking about. And with PSBT, there can be different lotteries, DEXs, games, and a lot of other programmable stuff built on top. So yeah, I just think and want to feature this as one of possible future directions of Bitcoin ecosystem, as I think, besides the rollups obviously and all the stuff that is built so far. And yeah, and also the PSBT is compatible with ordinals, with BSC20, with runes, and all this kind of native standards.
All right, excellent. Robert, what do you think? You had your hand up as well. What are you hoping for in 2024 in terms of DeFi activity on Bitcoin network?
What I'm expecting is the innovation cycle which takes place on the other, let's say, the layers which are already. Sorry, one second. the current. The developments of right now, for instance, in the Ethereum space, on EVM, which were usually preceded by innovation on Cosmos, for instance, which then moves over, will come as a wave as well, but then come to, in this case, Bitcoin. So what we saw, like with the TK, but what we also saw right now, for instance, the combination with the AI narrative and RWA, I expect that'll take a flight as well, but then on the Bitcoin network, for instance, with automated agents. And perhaps perhaps Sanju has an opinion about that, because you already mentioned the automated transactions, I believe. And the RWA narrative makes sense, and I think the main difference here is that from a risk perspective, Bitcoin is too politicized, I would say, because of the different stakeholders. It's too big to fail in comparison to other networks, in my perspective. Beyond the fact that it's the most, let's say, supported one by hardware.
Sure.
And I think that's where the drive to use the functionality now comes from. And so I was in Dubai, and right now the feedback I got was that most funds are emptying their pockets to be able to ride the wave of a potential bull market next year and get out before with their investments for cliff for a year, for instance. So I don't know in terms of developments if we'll see the results of that and that influx of money already this year. I expect not, because good things take time.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. We do like everything to be immediate in this space. That's for sure. So, okay. Are you still with us, Robert? Are you done? Okay.
I'm here.
Yeah. All right. Let's go over to, I want to move on to the next question. So, we've had the halving. Increasing scarcity of Bitcoin means its utility as collateral could possibly increase, hopefully increase and potentially impact borrowing rates, liquidity pools, yield farming strategies within the DeFi ecosystem. Let's go over to Ardine. Do you see this happening already? Do we see we're moving in this direction already? By the way, just a note to anybody who's waiting to speak. Sorry, the panel's so big today. We are about to cycle some people in and out, so just be patient. We will get you on if we invite you on the show. Sorry about the wait. Go ahead, Ardine.
No, sure. Justin, can you just repeat the question? If I wasn't able to fully
Sure.
get that.
So, the halving could mean that impact borrowing rates, liquidity pools, yield farming strategies. Are we seeing this happening already? And who do you see as being, furthest along toward kind of getting us there? Actual DeFi functions, using the Bitcoin network.
Yeah. So, Justin, I think it's still very early days in the case of Bitcoin. So I think there is a lot of runway for the future on this. I think at present, what we've seen is that Bitcoin has still been largely used as a store of value. And I think the whole notion about both exchange of value, a whole range of DeFi applications we're just getting started.
Right.
Now, within that, clearly we have a number of panelists who are on today that are trying to develop different elements of that. The whole Lightning Network that's been around for a period of time, that's actually only had somewhat limited success. I think we're poised now. I think the elements of the ecosystem are coming together at present. So the area of fungible tokens, the PRC20 that you talked about is happening now. I think the acceptance of Bitcoin as a part of the financial ecosystem and getting more legitimacy in the US and in countries around the world is happening now. So I think with the ETS getting approved earlier this year and over $70 billion flowing in because of ETS, I think it's really helped the overall sentiment. I think the general number of people who own Bitcoin in the US and around the world has been rapidly increasing. And the technology where there are a lot of naysayers saying, with the Bitcoin protocol versus Ethereum or other protocols, will it stick around for a period of time? I think it's been proven out. So I think all the right ingredients are coming together. But I think it's really is the canvas is still wide open in terms of players and applications. And that's what I think is the excitement and the opportunity for a lot of people on this call.
Does anyone else on this panel see someone working at this where you're really kind of impressed with their project? Sorry, this is always a curveball question because generally, bonus points if you're talking about a project other than your own. Is there anybody is anybody watching any projects closely to kind of see what they're going to come up with? Because that's kind of how this works. We are a community after all. Yeah, go ahead, Robert.
Okay, there's one project I met at Token 2049. I'm not affiliated in any way further. It's just it's a smart founder. What they did was they created a wallet basically for Bitcoin, which with several levels of security. So in the case that you want to, for instance, you want to do an OTC deal, and you want to send some Bitcoin over, you could just sell the wallet. You would remove one layer of the security to be able, so that they can have access to it if you want to. But you wouldn't need to provide. So what they did was you generate a new access code, new private key, every time you transfer the wallet, and it would use the entropy of the network for that, based on a transaction on the network. So you would have a decentralized input. You don't need an external oracle to provide the security. And I was pretty intrigued by that, because it makes it a standalone solution, which cannot be externally enforced. So even if your private key leaks, you can just, if you're in time, of course, you can switch it and to therefore still use the reserves. But it's an interesting project. It's called Tectum. That's what I wanted to mention here. Yeah.
Okay. What about you, Kim? Going over to Kim Protocol.
Oh yeah,
Kim
thanks,
Protocol?
Justin. So recently we came across a project that they're building off of the OP Superchain. The project's name is, so we're not involved with this project at all, but maybe hopefully in the future we will be. So the project's name is Bob, B-O-B. I don't know if you guys heard of Bob, but it's basically built on Bitcoin, right? And what they do is basically an L2. They build, to share liquidity across Bitcoin and also EVM. And they're actually gaining a lot, from what I've understood, they're gaining a lot of traction. And, I think they're really tackling the idea of DeFi across EVM and also through Bitcoin. So it's going to be interesting to see what they come up with. From the current partnerships that they do have, they are partnering with a lot of lending and borrowing protocols, as well as DEXs. So it's going to be very interesting. Yeah, I think again, I'm not shilling them or anything, but
sure. No, we're talking about projects we're not associated with. What about you, Ken?
For me, based on my understanding right now, when it comes in Bitcoin ETF, most of the people are adopting the CBDC. So how they can adopt the CBDC or the Bitcoin into a DeFi world, how they can, maybe they can create something different to improve the Bitcoin Lightning, to improve the speed, and also, to minimize the transaction fees. So that's mostly the common problem, most especially on the Ethereum. So that's why if the Bitcoin can beat that kind of stuff, then I think Bitcoin will move into in the different with the higher standards, most especially in the world right now, when the CBDC are opening about on the Web2 space, how they can bring the Bitcoin to their community, that this Bitcoin is not a scam, this is a real currency or the digital currency to our future, and how the adoptions going in and back and forth. So yeah.
Is Kedan still on? I understand that Kedan is pretty across this stuff. Do we have Kedan? Or I guess they're not.
I'm here.
Yeah. Would you have an answer for us, Kedan? Kimberly was just saying that you're well across this stuff.
Well, I'll touch base again, on the Bitcoin utilization topic, right? And I think it's great from a Bitcoin miner's perspective to see additional, options to use Bitcoin. But I think from an undercover Bitcoin maximalist perspective, I'm unsure if that's really good, right? I mean, we got to keep in mind, Bitcoin's white paper states it's a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. And I personally think that is what it is, right? Utilization of an asset like Bitcoin doesn't necessarily mean we have to accomplish it on-chain, because that will come with problems, right? Problems pretty much everyone doesn't take into account. If you think back, early ETH times, we had crypto kittens, right? The chain was clocked. And I don't want to end up with Bitcoin, reaching a state where I'm going to like spend a couple of grands on a single transaction, right? Like that's like one thing I really think is important to add. I also think, in regards like to BTC as a DeFi stack, right? Like, I mean, Bitcoin does provide low-level smart contracting capabilities, right? Like we ourselves use that. I know a bunch of other like projects that utilize it. And I mean, after all, Runes, right? Like the Bitcoin Ordinals-based project utilizes these kind of technologies as well. But we have to really be careful in regards to, like clogging the chain and literally, put this under quotes, abusing it for something it wasn't designed for. Because, I mean, I personally also think that Bitcoin and the underlying technology stack, right, don't get me wrong, but I think it's using an outdated technology stack. I think we reached an era, and AI is hopefully going to help us to fix this, where we have to reconsider its technology stack, right? We might need new data types, new compression algorithms, just maybe even a new computer architecture as such, right? Like just, I mean, we know, right? Like computer architectures, the way arithmetic operations run, rounding errors, etc., etc. The mathematicians, the traders, under you, the bankers, they'll know what I'm talking about. And I mean, I could add like much more on this, but I know we're tight in time. And now just like to touch base on your most recent question, could you please like repeat that one, Justin? And I'll do like.
We were talking about who we think is really kind of tearing it up right now. I saw Lightning Labs. Somebody did finally mention them. Is for instance working on introducing stable coins onto Bitcoin. What do you see as the kind of immediate wins that we could expect in the Bitcoin network stuff?
I mean, that's great. In general, I think the Lightning Network has done a great job in, turning BTC kind of like, first of all, like noob friendly, and more importantly, like everyday usable, right? Like, I mean, you can't go to a shop, buy a beer, or in a pub, try to pay with Bitcoin and potentially have to wait, 10, 20, 30 minutes for it like to confirm, right? Like, so I think initiatives such as Lightning, right? Like, and, like also initiatives from Bitfinex or like the overlying spin-off USDT, I think definitely like great approach in further enhancing the Bitcoin ecosystem. But personally speaking, from my own perspective, I think the stablecoin market is oversaturated. We've got like dozens of stablecoins across like dozens of protocols, and I believe we're pretty much like universities in different countries. Sometimes they're not able to access knowledge from other countries, and they end up researching, sorry, my wording, that's already been researched and figured, right? It's very similar like with the blockchain stack. And that's also why we try to bridge, and create an intercommunication layer between blockchains and between communities. I think, if we'd rather all focus, on a limited set, of technologies that provide the exact same use case, right? Would be way, further advanced. That's kind of like my opinion on this. I still welcome such initiatives because I believe, they still enhance the ecosystem. They cause growth, and after all, that's what we really need.
Right. And, this is representative of growth on the network, which is pretty much an absolute good for any network when you talk about there being more activity. I think of Sol, for example, with their recent popularity in meme coins, it all just becomes more activity on the network. But since nobody else has taken the position, I'll go ahead and be devil's advocate for a second here and say, well, from a Bitcoin Maxi's point of view, I've been listening to them complain for at least a year, even about ordinals, that this is all an abuse of the original purpose of the Bitcoin network. After all, what do you think, Ashton? You flashed up 100%. Are we still? One of the beauties of Bitcoin, guys, is that what it does is it does one thing. It transfers value and makes payments. I guess that's the one and a half things. And it does it very, very well. And because of the simplicity of the network, that's why it's been reliable. Are we stress testing this network? Are we meddling with the biggest success that we've ever had in crypto by trying to make it do all these other things? What do you think, Ashton?
Yeah, I think that there's going to be a lot of pushback, to be honest. Bitcoin's popularity definitely comes a lot from its massive price gains. But if people actually build on the network, people who really build understand that it's really just spaghetti code. And if you're in the ordinal space and say you have rune stones or RSIC miners, and say you try to power them up to double up the amount of runes you get, you're paying like $300 to $400 just to activate a little power up, right? So whenever we're transacting on chain, it is expensive, it's slow, it's delayed. Bitcoin has the largest network for double spends. Like you just said, Justin, it only serves, a few purposes. First off, it's a transparent digital library of transactions, which is fantastic. It's used for remittance for people that live in, say, Asia wanting to transact to the US. It works out well. But now that we have other companies, or I guess other chains like Ethereum, I don't really want to preach for Solana. I'm not really receptive to centralized entities like Solana, Avalanche, and everything, because they also experience a lot of network outages, and they're all custodial and not very
They're
secure
working
at the
on
end
it,
of the day.
Ashton. They've only had a few this year.
Yeah, just a few. But then again, what is the ethos in crypto? Like, people only care about green candles and network throughput, right? So fast transactions, cheap transactions, and price gains. When you talk about Bitcoin, say if you buy Bitcoin, not a lot of people have enough money to make these 2, 3, 4, 5x's, or this. You have to throw up a lot of money to make a lot of money with Bitcoin. So people are chasing the money, especially with meme coins. I think ordinals are kind of cool, but I don't think that Bitcoin is a network that should be built on. When you talk about side chains as well, like Rootstock, RSK, these guys are only averaging and this is network not usability, but network activity. They do 9 transactions every block, and every block is 30 seconds. Nobody's using it. And again, I can preach on about how hard it is to build on the network.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I also think it's great that countries like El Salvador are adopting it as a payment system using the Lightning Network. It does work well, but in terms from a retail perspective, it's dog water.
Yeah, I'm surprised. So you're not a maxi, but you do believe in the sort of the single focused intent and mission behind Bitcoin.
I'm a former maxi, that's for sure, for a good 3 years, 2015,
Sure.
2017, 2018. But then better tech started to come out. There's way better tech that's more decentralized, faster, cheaper. Post-chain, for example, Ethereum, for example, these are better.
Yeah, definitely. Ashton, what do you think? Part of what works about Bitcoin is its simplicity. Definitely, although nobody comes out and puts it this way when they're pitching a project, but definitely when you look at ordinals or whatever, you're looking at projects that are playing upon the fame and the widespread acceptance and respect, however you want to put it, for the Bitcoin network to begin with. Do you think that there is a possible downside to this? Are we just going to end up with a whole ecosystem of L2s around Bitcoin in order to handle the capacity that they need? Or do we risk breaking the thing that has worked absolutely the best in the whole crypto world up to this point?
I think there's two sides to this. I think people will invest in ordinals simply for the airdrops that they get. A lot of the airdrops that people get from Runestone, some of them have been worth hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. RSIC mines these runes. People were, before the halving and post the halving, maybe within 3 weeks, people got about $2,500 in runes airdrops. So that's kind of the marketing effort that these projects are working with. It's just giving away free stuff. I don't really see a value in these inscriptions and people using this chain to actually build on. We have Ethereum for this, which oftentimes can be expensive, especially when it's congested, but it's still faster. It's still just as secure, and there's also a lot more reduction in double spending. Yeah, so at the end of the day, it doesn't make sense to me to build on it. Let's keep it simple.
It's funny. There's more pushback around this than I expected. What about you, Ardine?
Yeah, no, I think even though that's a fair point, I think there's a couple of additional elements that need to be thought through it. I think the element around security is a critical one. And the fact about Bitcoin being truly decentralized, I think is an important aspect of the chain, which often or previously gets overlooked. So if you take any other chain, there is always a concern around, is it truly decentralized? Is it truly secure? And for financial, at least significant financial institutions and players to be actively involved. They want a chain that is secure, transparent, and from a governance point of view, does not have any risk. And I think Bitcoin offers that. So, while I agree that it's early days, I would take somewhat of a contrarian view to the previous speaker in terms of the fact that Bitcoin is not relevant for additional applications and DeFi applications. I think it's just getting started. And I think it will overtake a number of other chains in the coming years to come.
Okay. All right. So, you do think that we will run into some sort of problem in terms of bandwidth? Is that what you're saying?
No. So what I'm saying is that the Bitcoin offers some unique capabilities that other chains do not offer in terms of security, transparency, governance, which are critical, which I think are also very attractive for people to build projects on, as well as for mainstream financial players to also get involved in. At the same time, it's early days. So I think that there's the technology needs to continue to develop and evolve. Applications need to develop on the layer 2 and beyond. But I think that Bitcoin and applications are here to stay. So I was just taking a contrarian view to what I just heard, saying that Bitcoin is not relevant. I think it absolutely is relevant for ongoing applications in the coming months.
Right. All right. Perfect. I think we added Brian Dixon to the panel as well. Brian, are you on with us?
Yes, I am. Thank you.
Hey, man, how you doing?
I'm doing
Big
great.
panel today. Thank you for riding with the madness. What do you think? Ultimately, is it a net positive, or are we risking screwing up the biggest success that crypto has ever had? I mean, really, the flagship of all crypto with Bitcoin. I'm not a maxi, but I do understand why people are defensive of it. After all, Bitcoin is, kind of our big banner that we get to point to. What do you think of doing DeFi on Bitcoin, of creating stable coins that are run on the?
Absolutely. So I actually look at it very much as a very interesting and innovative thing that's occurring right now. And I spent a lot of my time on Bitcoin, but that doesn't mean I don't also pay attention to a lot of the other things that's going on and support them as well in the digital asset ecosystem. And when we look at Bitcoin, I think there's a couple points that were made before that I think are very important, where people were talking about how Bitcoin is not maybe the cheapest, fastest, or most efficient or best technology network. And I would agree with that. However, there is a very big difference between adoption and best technology. And if we look historically, not every time does the best technology always win. It's where the adoption falls. And it's clear today that Bitcoin has the dominant adoption across all digital assets. And with that, if we review back to the internet, when that came out, internet protocol was not the best technology of the time, but it's what everybody adopted on, right? And if we also look at the internet as just something that was going to be used for email and nothing else, our life would be completely different today. So looking forward, if Bitcoin continues to innovate and have these new technologies built on top of it, there is a potential universe where the rest of the digital asset ecosystem collapses on top of it. There's also a universe where that doesn't happen. I'm very open to either one. But if it continues to integrate and continues to have new applications built over time, the rest of the digital asset universe could say, you know what, this is where all the adoption's taking place and this is where all the development's taking place. And they could migrate from a multi-chain universe to a single chain universe. It's way too early for us to conceive if that could happen or not. But I do think that's a potential possibility in the future. And now that we see Bitcoin as being the like de facto acceptable digital asset pretty much worldwide across the jurisdictions that are using it, there's a lot more credibility and trust behind it. There's going to be a lot more institutional capital that flows into that space. And I think there's a lot more maturity that's going to happen specific to that protocol. But that doesn't mean it doesn't have competitors, right? Like I agree with a lot of the statements where runes and ordinals and some of the things that are taking place right now, they're going to slow up transaction times. They're going to increase transaction fees. It may not be the most efficient thing for a store of value money transmission type network or type technology. But I also think that we're very early in terms of the layer twos being developed on top of Bitcoin. And we just need to be a little more patient to see that play out. because, we couldn't, when the internet first came out, nobody could conceive how it would impact our lives and how ubiquitous it would become today. And if we look 20 to 30 years into the future, digital assets will be just as ubiquitous in our lives, and we can't even conceive the applications that'll develop over that time period. And so I do think it's really interesting and something to pay attention to.
Yeah, definitely. I want to speak to Real RWA because I'm just seeing that you guys got added to the panel. RWAs are obviously a powerful force in crypto this year. It's something I'm feeling just personally. Not that any of this is financial advice, folks, but I think real world assets on chain are going to be a really big deal for this year. Do you see your critical path involving the Bitcoin network, and where is the Bitcoin network kind of like a bonus to RWAs?
Hey, how's it going? Thanks for including us on the call today.
Glad to have you.
Oh, cool. Yeah. So, we're building Real. It's an L2 for tokenized RWAs. It's going to be launching in the next coming weeks. I'd say generally our philosophy right now is thinking about how to build with RWAs and taking off-chain yields and bringing them into DeFi ecosystems in a way that are sustainable and support extremely deep liquidity. So that might be separating the yield from the token itself or separating the yield from the underlying asset. But I think generally there's a ton of opportunity for different types of tokenized assets, a lot of opportunity for bringing RWAs into DeFi and bringing that yield into DeFi, which I think people are really excited about, both having a consistent, sustainable source of yield that comes from a predictable place, whether it's T-bills, rental yields, or other off-chain sources. As far as Bitcoin goes, it's not something that we've spent, I think, a lot of time looking into at this point. I think just the sort of complexity of tokenizing RWAs and bringing those on chain is a lot to handle. But like any other asset, if there's demand for it and consumers are looking for that product on chain, I think that people are going to come and fill that hole. I think you can make an argument that Bitcoin fits into that RWA space if you want to go the route of tokenized energy.
Sure.
And I think even with what Athena is doing, and we'll have a product on chain that's very similar, kind of tokenizing that Bitcoin cash and carry yield is another way that I think you can leverage Bitcoin in RWAs and leverage Bitcoin yield, although it's not sort of traditionally the Bitcoin asset.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a great point, and actually that's kind of a trippy, interesting way to look at it. Real, as in you could see Bitcoin itself as the tokenization of energy units. Of course, that's true to a degree, since that's the cost of creating it. I just wonder, is it going to be the kind of platform that's going to support something like a stable coin or something that's directly tethered to real world assets? I want to go to Searchpad. I know that you guys are an AI, and of course, at this point, I just did a panel of Bitcoin miners a week or two ago. And at this point, AI is absolutely instrumental in what they're doing. How do you see AI playing into this part of the game? I have a feeling that AI is going to become just a necessity part of all projects in blockchain over the next couple of years. How do you see it playing in with it being used on the Bitcoin network right now? Hey, you guys with us? This is for Searchpad.
It's a pleasure to be here, Justin. Sorry, can you repeat your question one more time, please? Sorry about that.
How do you see AI playing out in the Bitcoin network right now? Where are the important tie-ins around it?
Honestly, I believe AI is really going to be the one that is the catalyst to sort of onboard new people into Web3, because I feel like AI is something that we've been using since the beginning of the internet. And obviously people in Web2, when they think about crypto, they think about Bitcoin. So really and truly, if there's easier sort of applications that make people in the Web2 to understand Web3, then I believe Bitcoin and AI will definitely be something that is sort of integrated together, and more people will be onboarded into Web3 sort of thing,
Right, definitely. I want to go over to YPRS. Oh yeah, okay, there we go. We got Strategist PR on. Hey man, I've been trying to get you guys on. Welcome. Where do you think? So we're gonna wrap it up in the next 5 or 10 minutes or so. So I'm sorry you're on so late. Where do you think this is all going in terms of DeFi on the Bitcoin network? What do you expect to see pop off in 2024? Are you with us, Strategist PR?
Hey, hi. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. All right, Justin. Thanks for having me here. Okay. I'm Cecilia. From founder of Your PR Strategist. That's what YPRS stands for. We're an award-winning tech public relations marketing firm. Okay, but this is not what I'm here to talk about. Because basically we started a new stealth startup. It's called Nilax a few months ago. And okay, can you repeat your question again? Because I'll actually speak from that perspective.
Yeah, no problem. Basically, you as an agency, I imagine you're watching the halving and Bitcoin's movements pretty closely. What are you expecting to come out of Bitcoin as a network to build DeFi on or build related projects on this year? Like, who are you watching closely for the work that they're doing, using Bitcoin network?
I'm actually watching a lot of the layer twos, the Bitcoin layer twos, and as well looking at what's going on in the inscriptions space. Yes, I think I heard a lot of people, like not being very positive about what's going on there, but it was pretty much the same early on in the space, when Ethereum and even, all the like EVM ecosystem types of projects started. There was a lot of negativity. I myself believe that there's a lot going on here, and that I think we're just at the start. I mean, the innovations that have happened on the Bitcoin network, with ordinals, and then going on to all the other EVM inscriptions. I think that really, really is going to help with the rest of the innovations that we're going to see in the space. I mean, even with the Bitcoin halving, I mean, with, like the role of miners at the moment, because of the increased cost of mining and the decreasing income, they are actually finding, like a lot of earnings from this space, like the Bitcoin inscription ecosystems. The on-chain transaction fees, all of that has actually been helping the miners in the Bitcoin ecosystem in terms of what their income is going to be now that the halving has taken place. Okay, however, coming back to what you're talking about with DeFi applications, I think I mentioned it just now, like a few months ago. I co-founded a startup. It's called Nilax. It's a one-stop fractions facilitator platform. We're calling it Fractions OS as an operating system, whereby we will have a hybrid exchange with the best features of DEXs and SEXs, DAO, a launchpad, acquisition pools, other functionalities. What's interesting is that users will be able to own, trade, govern, and earn fractions of NFTs, ordinals, and other inscriptions and different digital assets, including RWAs. So this is a DeFi application that we're building right now, which will be including both the what's happening, in the Ethereum ecosystem, Solana, as well as what's happening with Bitcoin right now. We're putting all of it into one platform, actually, as an exchange, as a DAO, as there are different functionalities. But as I said, this is a DeFi project, which will be, building on what's happening right now in Bitcoin, building right, yeah.
Right. But not building directly on the network, or are you using an L2, or how are you doing that?
We will be using L2s, yes. But
Okay.
I mean, as a DeFi application, I mean, this is something as a DeFi platform. This is something that we are hoping to bring into the space because we think there's going to be a lot happening in the space.
Well, since you are speaking to a lot of clients and potential clients in the space, I imagine when you're in an agency position, you're out talking to a lot of people. Obviously, what do you think is the fascination with the Bitcoin network? Is it healthy to try and have Bitcoin be more than it was originally slated to be in its original white paper?
I think that things will keep going forward. So there will be innovations that will keep on happening. I do think that every time there are innovations, there are going to be setbacks, there are going to be challenges. But I think that because Bitcoin is such a, I mean, it is basically, I think, the original blue chip crypto. Everyone loves it. I don't think there's anyone that hates Bitcoin. So that's why it's so massively adopted. And with the new innovations coming on, with runes, how they're going to be able to really lessen the load on the transactions. I think that this is a space that will continue to see innovation, whether or not people are going to like it. And then when the innovations are successful, I think that, everyone's going to accept it and move forward.
Right. Well, definitely. That's true. Ultimately, this space and all kinds of industries follow the will of not necessarily the will of the people directly, but the will of what people are willing to invest in and the hype cycle. We're all kind of stuck following it, whatever the zeitgeist is pointed toward. And right now, for better or worse, they've certainly been pointed toward the Bitcoin network. I'm a big fan of Bitcoin as a project overall. After all, it kind of is the responsible for everything that came after it in a lot of ways. I think that definitely people will keep focusing on it, but it'll be interesting to see where that goes, and hopefully we don't run into any glitches in the meantime. I mean, folks, really, without anyone building out something to extend the Bitcoin network, I'm not sure that Bitcoin is capable of accomplishing its stated objective as a global decentralized digital currency. I mean, it is, but if everyone started using it tomorrow, it would be instantly overwhelmed, is what I'm trying to say. So obviously, change is going to come in one way or another. This is my way of kind of like trying to create a bridge between the Bitcoin maxi point of view and the rest of the crypto world. Obviously, some sort of change is coming. I do think that we have to be respectful and careful with sort of the poster child of every crypto project out there. Bitcoin is our ambassador to the world, after all. We're just going to wrap up in just a minute or two. Does anybody have anything that they want to add? Sort of your outlook for 2024. It has to be a real quick comment, though. Show of hands, who wants to make a prognostication for me in 2024? Are we going to hit $250,000 Bitcoin like Tim Draper said not that long ago? Do you think so? You're laughing. This is Tim Draper. He invested in, I mean, honestly, he has a far better track record as an investor than I do. That's for sure. He's into Hotmail and PayPal and that sort of thing. Where do you think we're gonna land this year? Maz, I'll go over to you. 100,000, not 250. Maybe that's too pie in the sky.
So see, I don't want to comment on those numbers, but it's definitely going to be on the six figures, close to that.
Yeah.
Early, but like we could expect 2x, 2.5 to max 3x return on the Bitcoin this year. I would say 2 to 2.5x. But yeah. I think I wanted to just say you did an amazing job, and thanks for Godbit to having all of us. I think all the speakers are great. I think we have all echoed the same sentiment where the Bitcoin's going to head, how everybody is doing an amazing job building either on the network or other EVMs and stuff, right? And I think Brian said the same thing as well, that there is lot we all need to see what's coming. And then, of course, all of us, or maybe a lot of us, will make the mistakes as it was in the internet era. But I think we all need to continue to keep growing and moving. And I appreciate it. And Justin, great job. And thanks, Godbit. That's what I wanted to say. And then go Bitcoin and go blockchain, right?
Hey, thank you, man. I appreciate that. And honestly, great job to all the speakers, too. Brian and Strategist PR and InvestFi, a bunch of you really, I would take more time to speak with you if we had more time. I'm going to have to close up the show in the next few minutes, but DM me. Let's get you back on a show. I think that honestly, there's always I could do 3-hour shows, especially talk about Bitcoin. I mean, good Lord. I like talking about Bitcoin as a topic because it's almost always a feel good topic. Everybody's bullish on Bitcoin, and why wouldn't you be? It's been fantastically successful. Ashton, what you got for us, man?
I don't think Bitcoin's going to hit any crazy new all-time highs. Historically, post-halving, we'd usually wait about a year and a half.
Sure.
So, expect next summer, maybe end of next year, that we'll probably be breaching 6 figures. And that's if ETFs also go well in Asia as well, because right now the volume didn't really speak loud numbers.
Right. And it was the same thing happened in the beginning of the year where everyone was kind of quietly disappointed that Bitcoin didn't just completely skyrocket, and then there was a little dip recently, and everyone got bummed out by that. You think that's really anything for investors to sweat, Ashton?
No.
Yeah, I kind of think not to. I mean, I kind of think people get hypersensitive about any kind of movement. It's like Bitcoin is a long-term investment to me, folks. I mean, this is not investment advice. This is just one guy expressing his opinion for real. But if you look at it in a 5-year window, it seems almost impossible that Bitcoin won't give you a return. It's just a matter of people who are trying to ride out very short-term returns. And I hope for the whole space that, for retail investors at home, I hope that we start shifting our thinking away from very large, immediate returns, which always have the quality of a great amount of risk, to kind of steadier projects that are always deriving value, as Bitcoin certainly will be. So definitely let's go over to Kim. I want to give you a chance to speak too. Kim Network, you've got something to add? What do you think? I like asking people about price points because everybody has to say, I don't discuss price points. It's just one of my curveball questions I throw out there. So what do you think, Kim? You going to beat 250? You're going to go more bullish than Tim Draper?
Yeah, I mean, I'm 100% bullish on Bitcoin, 100% bullish on the crypto market. Definitely, it's just, I think if you have patience, you'll eventually get there. So I think,
Right.
I mean, this is not financial advice or anything, but, just look at the long term, see the trajectory of how Bitcoin has come, and, you can just draw the next part of the chart with your imagination from there, right?
Right on. All right, guys, you've all been fantastic. I honestly wish that I could have gotten to talk to all of you a little bit more. So come back. We will certainly be talking about Bitcoin this year. We'll be certainly talking about DeFi. Thank you, GotBit, for hosting this show. GotBit is about to do a show of their own. If you get a chance, maybe post that GotBit. You post it under the pin post so that people can go over to that or check out GotBit's account if you want to go listen to Alex, the founder. Go ahead and speak. That'd be great. He's about to appear in another show. I have a show coming up at 1 p.m. as well. If you want to check my Twitter, follow all these good people. So many smart people on here. Some I genuinely wish that. Oh, Soul GPT, I didn't get a chance to give you a shout out at all, but I'm being compelled by my producers to close the show now. DM me if you didn't get enough airtime today. I wanna give everybody a chance to speak. But it's been a great show. Thank you so much for coming to me and coming here and talking about Bitcoin. Follow these good people if you're listening at home, and to our at-home audience or at work, wherever you are. Thank you so much. We love you, and we hope to see you again next week. All right, speakers, thank you so much for being on. It's been great having you.
If I could video right now, I'd show you my cool ass ape runner slippers that I have, which I'm stoked on. And yeah, definitely cool stuff. And you guys can order custom stuff for your particular project, like Arcane Labs. If you wanted to promote some merch with your ordinals on them, or your maybe you have some sayings and some prints you wanted to put on shirts, they can facilitate all that. And the prices are definitely right there with regular stores. There's nothing extravagant. You can do custom one of ones. I mean, the possibilities are endless. So thank you, Queenie, for bringing that up. I didn't see you in the chat there. Otherwise, I would have gave you a big shout out to, I got mad love for you. But thanks for coming up and sharing that with everybody.
Thanks, Sean, for mentioning the custom part too. I kind of forgot that part of my little spiel, but yeah, you guys could totally get custom merch done. Anybody in here is welcome to contact me for custom merch. You can either direct message me on this account, Crypto Threads HQ. Crypto Threads is spelled with a Z.
I was just gonna say that. Don't forget the
And
Z.
I gotta take a call. Yeah, I gotta go, guys. Yeah, don't forget the Z, but I gotta head out. Thanks for having me, guys. I do apologize. I got a call I gotta take.
All good. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye, Kara.
Yeah, she's an amazing artist, and her store is top notch, and highly recommended it. And their products are not cheesy products like you get out of some of these outlets. Definitely quality stuff, and I'm more than happy with what I have received already. So thank you for that.
I'm gonna be getting a shirt or a hoodie sometime soon. Don't know exactly when yet, but I know it's coming up soon. I've been looking at the hoodies recently. She's also got speakers and all that stuff listed, like a little bit of everything for everybody.
Yeah, it's a well-rounded site for sure.
Definitely.
Hey, Sean, I see Zerps is in the chat. Hello, Zerps. How are you? Are you willing to come up and talk?
I just sent him a mic.
Zerps, what's up, my man? You gonna come up and share your? You got something coming up in the pipeline, huh? You willing to share anything?
He's got a mic thrown at him, so we shall see. And how are you doing today, Eggy?
Very well, thank you.
Very well.
I see XB down there as well, so I'm just tossing him a mic.
Oh, XB.
Oh, we got everybody.
Yeah, XB's got something in the pipe too. One of you guys should come on up and throw a little gas on the fire. What do you think?
I think so.
Let's keep this fire burning, folks.
Might as well. Hello, everyone.
Hello, Zerps. Are you wanting to share what you got going in the pipeline, or you want to just do a little bit of a teaser?
Oh, we could do, I guess, a soft opening. I appreciate the gesture. Yeah, this is at Ishbeat Zerps and Perps, the owner and founder of Weepin' Plebs. We're going to be dropping on base soon, and, we've been working behind the scenes pretty diligently, just getting everything together for the collection. Today I've gone through over 5,000 NFTs, and it's on base. I'm excited about it. The concept is a 90s cartoon character that will be integrating into an entire full-blown miniseries animation, and I have the honor to work with an amazing artist who has a lot of credits in the real world. So to be able to be in this position, coming from different blockchains, managing different projects, even with some of the people in this chat, I've overseen a multitude of 20 plus projects, but I've never had anything that's completely my own. So that's the thing I'm most excited about in regards to the Weeping Plebs. This IP is a blend of my artist on the animation scale, adapting my intellectual property and the graphics into on the animation side, but the concept and the morale behind it and the culture will be something that's more of my own, where I don't have a big team or a lot of hands in the cookie jar. But yeah, so I'm really excited to learn more about bass. Dropping onto bass will expand my knowledge in another sector, and I think bass is going to be a main narrative, which is why I'm going there personally on a business level. But I'm most excited about having fun. I'm going back to my roots on NFTs in general. Fast forward 3 years, or rewind 3 years ago, I was just joining the market just to the NFT sector just to get into, I don't know, art and fun while the market was down. And, to skip a bunch of drama and success and failures, it's just kind of like looking back, it's like, whoa, what happened? Like, now I base my entirety of my free time as an adult and a father and someone who's about to get married. I'm still just like so involved in NFTs, whether they're up or down. So yeah, I'm really just glad to have fun with it again. It's been a nice journey, and the Weeping Plebs are all about a mission statement to just expose the culture of base, yes, but to also just make fun of your mistakes. I come from a lot of mistakes. I like to learn the hard way, as they say. So, and I know a ton of people like me who have invested in rugs and etc. So, kind of one of our mottos is fade now, weep later. So you're gonna, the perfect example would be getting on the Discord with Snake and the Ape Runners and him exposing. I've told this story a few times, and it might be one of my prime examples of the fade now, weep later concept. But yeah, Snake introduced a project on Bitcoin ordinals, and it was a new concept. I think it was like one of the DMT projects, the frogs, and just the way to get this NFT and minted was just a little obscure. It did take a little learning curve. You're not going to Magic Eden, shopping a collection and pressing buy. You are having to find a sector of the code and upload it and etc. I had just transferred some money. I didn't want to take the extra steps. Long story short, I was on step 9. I didn't do step 10. You fast forward about 5 or 6 days later, maybe give or take a day or two, and they've gone up in value, thousands of dollars. And I had just gotten engaged at the time. I could have really used the money, but I faded it now, and I was weeping later. So that is kind of the culture of the plebs, and I firmly believe that there's a lot of people in this space that can relate to that culture. So I'm excited to grow and learn and share that with everyone through animation, small animations, and the true culture of NFTs. We don't have a ton of redundant traits that you see in the NFT culture. We have completely customized art from a blend of 3 artists that I know, and I've had the pleasure of working with, but mostly my main artist. And they're able to literally take my ideas and put them into graphics. It's amazing. So I've really had fun staying true to, again, the true NFT culture, embodying that 90s spirit that we all grew up with watching, whether it be Family Guy, Nickelodeon shows. These cartoon characters kind of resemble all of that. But yeah, thank you for the time, Maggie.
Yeah, no. Hey, is it possible that you can share the amount of NFTs your collection has and the amount of traits that are going to be implemented on that?
I'm not going to share the amount of traits. I'm still, the website is ready. I might make it public in the next 72 hours or so. I'm still going to go through a few meetings with a team and a marketing company, but we have a ton of traits.
Cool. Right on.
I would say upwards of 200 if you want to include backgrounds, like 230, 240.
Wow, right on.
But again, could change. So.
All right, good stuff. Thanks for sharing that there, Zerps. That's we're looking forward to seeing what's happening over there.
Thank you. Yeah. With again, I guess the final statement is, I'm blessed enough to know the Web3 connections like Degen Titans and Ape Runners and people in this space. I see Tommy, Based Invaders, and XP. Shout out to that project. Another project bridging over to Base, kind of hand in hand with myself and the Weeping Plebs. But I'm blessed enough to know the connections and have the creativity, have the artist, and I think, why not take a solid stab at it while Base is the narrative? This is really fun to transfer over with the group. So, yeah.
Base is definitely hot right now. Snake, do you have anything to share about? Can we let anything out of the bag on what's happening on our end with base, or we got to keep that under wraps for now?
Let it out.
I think Snake dropped down at some point. Where is he? I don't think he's in here. Oh.
Oh, all right. I guess we'll have to wait then. That's all right. Let's see. We got Mr. XB's down there, Based Invaders. Can we get some input, some up and coming potentials from Based Invaders?
I've sent him multiple microphones, so
He might be at work.
Yeah.
He's got a pretty intense job outside of Web3, so he might not be able to talk right now, but
Snake's back.
oh, Snake's back. Okay, Snake.
Send him the mic.
We were just talking about base, Snake. Do we have anything that we can potentially let out of the bag regarding base and what we're doing, or are we going to keep that under wraps for now?
I sent him a microphone. There he is. Hello, Snake. Welcome up.
Yo.
Did you hear Sean?
No, I couldn't hear. I can hear now though.
Oh, okay. Let me repeat myself. I was asking if I know we're working on some stuff with the base protocol. Is there anything we can let out of the bag just yet, or are we got to keep that under wraps for a little bit more?
No, we can definitely share a little bit, a little cat out of the bag. We are obviously for those following us, we are dropping the Drifters collection on base, which is our second collection that we're doing in collaboration with Jet Polino, who's also the artist for Ape Runners. For those that don't know, Ape Runners is a collection that we came out on Bitcoin Ordinal. So we've been working on the base drop. Reason for the delay, believe it or not, is our developers have been receiving quite a number of attempts of people trying to take over the website and compromise it. So we're definitely taking extra precautionary measures to make sure that it's safe, not only for ourselves, but for the people that are going to be minting, as we're going to be having our own launch pad for the launch itself. And I think the developers were letting us know there's around 20 attempts a day. People are trying to get in the website, which is freaking insane, dude, because we haven't even made the website public or anything yet. So it just kind of gives you an idea the demand there is there. So we don't actually have a time frame now due to that, but we are planning on releasing it before the end of this month. So we're looking to straighten all that stuff out. And yeah, aside from that, working with Jet on the project, we're going to be letting out exactly what we're going to be doing with the project as it releases. He's planning on curating more art in the ecosystem. Aside from that, we're going to be curating some other stuff that's going to be connected to it, some real life items that we want to connect to it as well. So yeah, we're really excited to be launching the second collection. We wanted to choose strategically the blockchain we wanted to launch on. Just like our partners, we've put them up to game with Base, and at the time, a lot of people weren't really believers. But you look at it now with the smart wallet compatibility, making it really easy to onboard people onto the blockchain. It's going to be insane right now. And then a little stat is right now they're onboarding 50,000 users a day.
Wow, that's a lot. So just so folks know, is this project going to be inscribed on the base network?
Yes, we're looking on scribing this on chain as well.
Oh man, that just gets me so excited. I love to hear that. I actually knew the answer to that, but I just wanted to let the folks know.
But yeah, that's the reason for the delay, guys. We've just been having high attempts into the website, and we want to make sure that everything is absolutely safe as we're going to be onboarding the collection straight into OpenSea from our launchpad that we're going to be having, and then shortly after that, it'll be on Magic Eden as well. So super excited to be launching this with Jet, and yeah, right now we're looking to have this resolved as soon as possible. We're looking to hopefully have another announcement within the next 72 hours. So hopefully by the end of this weekend or Monday.
Right on. That's I mean, it's kind of bullish, isn't it? When the project hasn't even launched and we're getting so much attention. I mean, what does that tell you?
Yeah, definitely a lot of attention. I don't know anybody that's trying to hack into a website of an irrelevant project. So I'm just kind of giving you guys a little 411. Nobody waste their time on something irrelevant. So I'll just keep it at that.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
That's facts.
Yeah, but I'm super excited for Arcane Labs as well as Weeby Labs, who came up, showed a little bit of what they got going on building in the near future, as well as XP Army down there as well. So man, love guys.
Yeah, definitely. And Arcane Labs, I see you're still here, and I hope you're still listening. Definitely give me and the team a follow, and let us know if we can be of any assistance to you in the future with anything, or if you just need some intel or some information or whatever, or just want to talk story. You know, we're always here and we're always available, and we love it when we can collab with other communities on the same path. So just keep that in mind. You know, we're this is not just a one-time meeting. We want to have you on here again later on after you launched, and we want to hear your success story and what you're doing and how you're moving forward and all that good stuff. Your project sounds amazing, and looking forward to it. I'm not much of a gamer, but you kind of got me got me excited. I might check it out, and I'm sure other folks will as well. So yeah, I'm super excited about what you're doing, brother.
Much appreciated, man. And yeah, we'll definitely have future spaces going over everything once for the success story. We definitely do that.
All right, cool. Glad to hear it. Appreciate that a lot. All right, what's next on the agenda, folks? It's kind of a free for all right now, so just throw it out there. Let's throw it to the wall, see what sticks.
I just gotta ask: is Ape Runner is Bagel on that account right now?
Yes,
Bagel.
this is Bagel.
Bagel is in Ape Runners. Yes, he is one of our mods. He's our Spaces extraordinaire, backdoor guy that helps facilitate all this and make it happen. And he's an important part of our community as well.
Much love, much love. So Bagel, you definitely got to try those French toast bagels we were talking about.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
I'm going to, bro. I looked it up. They look phenomenal.
You're missing out.
Yeah, make a sausage, egg, and cheese bagel with them French toast bagels. But yeah, don't forget, people, we do got the King VIP event going on in the Discord. Just got to remind y'all. All you got to do is hold one Ape Runner or one Satoshi Runner, and you can participate against all the other VIPs in the King of VIP channel through playing games and engaging. And the winner at the end of the month gets a free DMT frog. Like, who don't want a free ordinal or DMT frog? I'm sorry.
I believe it's a DMT Pepe.
Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. I'm sorry, I don't know why I said frog.
All good. I only know that because I'm the one offering it up. So
Hell yeah, Sean's the goat.
nah.
Web3
I love
Joe
giving
Rogan.
I love giving back to the community that has given me so much. And I know Big Slide's probably tired of hearing it, maybe not, but I got nothing but love for Big Slide. He's the reason I am here. When I first got into the NFT space, before I even got into Ordinals, he picked me out of a group of people, and he took me by the hand and showed me the way. And him and he walked me through my first P2P NFT transaction. And it was just I got mad love for you, Big Slide. You know that.
Hell yeah. We always love a good little love story.
I don't know about love story, but
But yeah, Sean, how's your night going? You having a good night, man? Or
yeah,
day?
it's good. It's just coming about sunset right now, and it's cooling off a little bit. It's been quite hot today. We had some serious rain earlier, and I went and I bought a gimbal for my phone so I could make some cool posts on Twitter. And it was pouring rain, so I couldn't do it. I was going to go down to the beach or something and make a little video and post it up, and that didn't happen. And then I got home and I was going to do it on my my little deck outside, and guy across the street started bulldozing his lot, making all kinds of crazy noise. So it got put on hold. Luckily, Brother Man Lost put together a little cool animated clip for me, and posted that instead. And everything worked out as usual, and just got to push forward. And but yeah, I'm going to be working on some cool little video clips from various locations around the island, and just promoting the spaces, letting folks know what we're doing, what we're about, what we're trying to accomplish, and just letting folks know that they don't have to be scared. There's a safe place. I want to be there's some I want to be the Joe Rogan of Web3. That might be shooting for the moon, but if I hit the stars, then that's close enough. I want to fill that space. I believe there's a void for this type of information, and a place for people to hang out and get that information. And even if they can't listen to the spaces live, they can listen to the recorded version and maybe catch it next time. And so it's all about just growing the community. We all know community is everything, and I want to bring that, and I'm going to step up to the plate, and I'm going to do all that I can to bring that. And I love this space, and I love what it's about. I love what it represents, and I've been here from 2018. A friend of mine introduced me to XRP back in 2018 when it was like, I don't know, 9 cents. And, it's been a roller coaster ride. At first I thought, yeah, just buy XRP, and then in a couple of years I'll be rich as fuck. And that wasn't the case, but still pushing forward, still learning, still making moves, and still learning every day. I am forever teachable, and I'm transparent. I'm fully doxed. Anybody can ask me anything at any given time, and I'll give them a straight answer. You might not like the answer you get. I'm by no means politically correct. I'm a straight shooter. I tell it like it is, and I just would like it if people tell me like it is straight back, and I can take it. I think constructive criticism is beneficial to helping you grow. And if you can take it, you can take it, and you'll grow from that. If you can't, then you're closed-minded and you think you know everything. And so, it's all about learning and wisdom and knowledge, and just being open-minded. I mean, there's so much that we don't know. And I gotta say this. I mean, our group, our Ape Runners Discord, we have so many extremely talented people in there. I mean, just so talented. And it goes back to what I was saying earlier. Like, you can be the most talented person in the world at what you do, but if you don't have a voice or a platform to shout at people what you're about, then you'll never be seen, you know? And that's what this is about. It's about, you know, I want to bring people in here that can, you know, shill their project, you know, or let us know what they're about to do, or what they're trying to do, or their struggles and how we can help them. You know what I mean? Like, I've been involved and recently too, and I'm not going to get into it, but it wasn't a good project. But the main problem they were having was, and some of the people in here will know what I'm talking about, the main problem these folks were having was getting their voice heard. I mean, what they were doing was actually you know, it made a lot of sense, and I get their vision. Trust me, I get it, even though it didn't work out, but they're still fighting for it, and bless them for that. But the problem is they didn't have a platform to let people know what they're doing. You know what I mean? They were trying to change the game in the shitcoin industry, and I'll just leave it at that. Okay, they were trying to change the game, but they had no platform to voice themselves. They had no platform to say what they were doing. And they kept paying all these people thousands of dollars left and right to help them voice what they're trying to do. And they just kept getting screwed over left and right and left and right. And, you know, it blows my mind. And I want to open up this platform for anybody to come up here. Of course, you got to join our Discord, open up a ticket, let us know what your project is. We'll schedule in for spaces, you know, just like everybody else. We're going to put you in front of a moving train. It's up to you to avoid getting railroaded. You know, that's my phrase nowadays, you know. And if your project is legit and you need a platform to voice what you're doing, I want to make that platform this space right here. You know what I mean? That's my goal. Is I want to give anybody, I don't care how small your project is, I don't care how big your project is, I want everybody to be able to come here and be able to showcase what they're trying to build, because there's so many talented people out there that have no platform to show what they can do. And just in our Ape Runners Discord alone, I mean, fuck, Canna Queen, Lost, fuck, the list goes. I could sit here for half an hour and just name off names, but we have so many talented people that do amazing things, but unless they have a platform where they can show it, nobody's ever going to know. And that's the beauty about Web3 is we have the ability to let everybody know. And that's what I want to bring to this space. I want everybody to have the opportunity to showcase. I want to give everybody a shot to show what they can do. You know what I mean? And of course, it's up to them to show what they can do, but at least they have a shot. You know what I mean? They don't have to go pay some influencer or some YouTube jerk off, you know, thousands of dollars to give them one little shout out, you know, one 5-second, like, hey, this guy's cool. And then, you know, nobody even heard it. And they got burned for thousands of dollars. And most of the time, these people who are trying to get their skill set or their project seen, they don't have a lot of money. And that's the fucking problem. They don't have the finances to showcase what they're trying to build. And they're trying to build something amazing. You know what I mean? And maybe, just maybe, them being in this space and they're showcasing what they can do, maybe somebody else in this space will click onto that and say, fuck, that's a fucking match for me. You know what I mean? I'm going to connect with this person and I'm